Hey everybody, how we doing?
I'm doing good. Hope. Oh, you got the mic on?
Oh yeah, it's going.
Right on. We did it first try. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another frigid week. It is cold and snowy, and I don't know where you are, but I'm sure where you are, it probably is cold and snowy too, unless you're someone that lives like in Florida. We know a few people down there. They're still nice people though, even though they live in Florida. Tonight's show is our usual show. We're going to start off with our usual book reviews, new books of the week, interesting ones, new things that we need attention brought to, number ones, that sort of stuff. We're going to address our usual shows that we like to review for, our comic book audience here. So we'll look at new Boba Fett, new Peacemaker. I'm really enjoying Peacemaker.
Peacemaker's turning out to be a really good show.
Yeah, well, I don't want to start reviewing it now, but yeah, more than just for what people think it would be. Yeah, so let's get started. First, we'll start off with let's thank ourselves for one thing. NatDaddy Collectibles. We have been promoting ourselves and just trying to get our names out there as much as possible, in the community, and not in obnoxious ways or anything, but just helpful ways, and we're growing on it, and we have a lot of new people, and we want to keep growing that, and we want to thank the people who've been with us since the beginning and all these new people. So I believe I saw this afternoon that our membership number was like at 342-ish or something like that. What I want to do is, everyone I'm sure here, being a Nat Daddy member or a fan, has watched the Hugh Rookwood interview that we did, and that amazing sketch that he did, like within like an hour. I couldn't believe it. So what we're going to do is we are going to do a random draw for a lucky member, and they will win this. What you have to do is just become a member. So spread the word around, and it will happen when we either get to 400 members, so we're about, I think, 60 or so off, or when our first year anniversary comes around, and that is March. So again, we got about 6 weeks there, or in about 6 or less than 6 weeks, because February is short, so 5 weeks, and about 60 members, so whatever happens first. And that's what we'll do, and yeah, that's pretty cool. Again, just since we're talking about interview stuff, we've done with Mike. He did his awesome one. We've done quite a few. We got quite a few more coming up. So I'd like to announce that tomorrow we are filming an interview with Jason Flowers, who has been killing it with the Last Ronin exclusive covers. And the following week, so that will go out sometime this weekend. And then the following Friday, we are doing another interview with Aaron Bartling.
Bug flew in my cup. I watched it go right in.
Oh, that's cool. It's fresh as protein. So then, so next Friday we're doing an interview with Aaron Bartling, who's also been killing it with the Last Ronin covers. So each of them will do a sketch as well. I don't know what we'll do exactly, but I tell them I like to do something like this and sell it off. Not sell it off, but maybe sell it off to a Nat Daddy person, or maybe just again do another little auction type of thing. So yeah, some things to look forward to. Do you want to take a turn talking for a bit? I'm not usually talking so much in the beginning, but why don't you thank some of the rest of the groups?
Yeah, I mean, I think we sort of, we covered thanking Hugh, and Hugh's a part of the Big Country and part of Tags. And
yeah.
I know Big Country's putting out quite a bit of stuff right now. I know Tags. I don't think this weekend. I don't think they've said anything's coming out.
No, next weekend.
But yeah, it should be next weekend. Ashley and Bobby at 204. I still have yet to be there. I'm a terrible patron. I haven't been there in a couple weeks.
Well, everyone's been busy and the weather's been crappy and that, but it's not like you're not paying them. You're still paying for all your books. They're just sitting there. So
yeah,
awesome.
Cool. Let's hop on with the show. Starting off today, a lot of Marvel stuff this week. A lot of number ones, and usually we have a lot more indies than anything else, but no, I think Marvel covers most of it this week.
Yeah, it was good, and they were good books, the ones that I read. So
yeah. So first up is one of the most anticipated ones since it's been announced, and that's the new She-Hulk #1.
Yeah. a lot of these books I like too because they're characters who I always enjoy. You know, She-Hulk's being one of them. She's kind of one of my favorite characters. Yeah, She-Hulk. She is kind of down on her luck after everything that's happened to her in the last couple of years, and it is you know, she's kind of depressed. The book is by Rainbow Rowell and Roger Antonio, and I really like the artwork in here. You know, very very clean and realistic, and you know, bright. Yeah, a lot of covers for this one too. Being a number one, there was like a ton of covers, and they're
Lots
all
of variants, but also like standard variants, but also lots of exclusives.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great thing. Everyone loves drawing She-Hulk. So like I was saying, Jen Waters, the She-Hulk. Walters, sorry. She is no, she's kind of hit rock bottom. She's starting all over again. She has no job as a lawyer, and she's not really being a hero in that because of the whole you know, Devil's Reign thing going on. You can't be a hero, you get locked up. So she is starting a new job as a, you know, kind of she's the bottom of the ladder at a single person law firm, and the law firm's taking a big chance on her because again she's kind of like has a tainted reputation just for being, you know, the She-Hulk. So she's got that, you know, starting off and it's crappy. She's got nowhere to live. She has no money. She's got no clothes, and this is where she is in life. So the Wasp actually lends her a place to live, and it's a place that, you know, she's crashed there before whenever they're in town and that. So she has that going for her at the end. So that's one thing that kind of picks her up. But she still feels bad because she feels like, you know, these people feel bad for her. Everyone keeps trying to lend her money and stuff. And actually, at one point in this book, she's about to throw down with Titania there. And Titania, at the end of the fight, Titania and her kind of realize that, no, we don't need to fight just for, you know, to be super villains. We just like to, you know, kind of let off some, you know, steam type of thing. So they end up forming like a woman supervillain fight club. And you know, even Titania tries to offer her like, hey, like, do you need like a loan or something? You're looking kind of like sketchy there and that. So she is kind of down, but like I said, things kind of do kind of she kind of feels a little bit better towards the end of the book because she's in the apartment and kind of feeling not so, you know, bad for herself as she should. And then all of a sudden she hears a crash, and then, not to be spoilers or anything because it's in all the solicitations, but Jack of Hearts is there. He shows up, and he's been dead for years, and then he kind of says no Jennifer or whatever, and then passes out, and it stops there. So nice start. Nothing mind-blowing or anything like that, but no, good start for a book. And I don't know what the TV show will be like, but I kind of feel like this will be something similar to what the TV show will be like.
There's a lot of characters that I thought had some that we know that are confirmed, like Titania.
Titania's in there for sure.
And I don't think we'll see anyone like Janet Van Dyne or anything.
No.
But the characters there, I do see that being very similar.
You know who is going to be in that show, though? Matt Murdock.
There's rumors that Matt Murdock's in it.
Because they're lawyers.
Jessica Jones is going to be in it.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
Daredevil's rumored to have a pretty decent role in this.
I've heard that, too, because, again, being a lawyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
They say he's going to be in his yellow suit.
I heard that, too, actually.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's a good lawyer.
He's just a really good lawyer.
He's a good lawyer, and he catches that, whatever that was. Was it a brick? Brick through the window? Yeah. That was cool. I saw that on a T-shirt. Someone had it on a T-shirt already.
Oh, yeah?
Matt Murdock, I'm a good lawyer. Yeah.
Next up is... Oh, you know what I didn't point out? And it's something that we wanted to point out. Let's go back to She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Lots of books this week.
Oh.
And I think maybe it's this month as well.
Certainly this month. Hopefully going forward again.
They have the old corner art. Corner box art.
And titles. Yeah, because for a long time, it wasn't really titles. It was like minimal trade and stuff like that. So, yeah, they're kind of going back to some of the old trade dress, like the corner boxes and some of the larger, kind of, I don't know if it's like a logo. I guess that's like the She-Hulk logo. Like, you can recognize She-Hulk or Hulk or Iron Man or Spider-Man logo.
Well, the way they originally did it is so you could take a glance and see who's in this issue. If it was a team-up issue, say Spider-Man and Wolverine, Spider-Man, Daredevil, the two of them were in the box art. That's what it was.
Yeah, I'm talking that. But I'm all for that. And it's the regular cover. It's not like variant cover Bs, which for Marvel you think that would be a B cover. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so next up.
Am I showing enough enthusiasm this time? Because I know last week you said I started off a little flat.
You were very flat last week.
But am I good this week, Ty? Did I reach your standard?
I mean,
Okay,
it's a passing grade.
thanks.
Next up is Devil's Reign's Villains for Hire.
Yeah, this one I thought was going to be kind of cheesy. Or just dumb, because a lot of times, or unnecessary, I should say, not dumb, because a lot of times when they have these tie-ins, they're just like, why
Devil's Reign's been doing a good job.
Yeah, Devil's Reign has been good.
But I think there's a Devil's Reign X-Men and a Death of Doctor Strange X-Men this week.
Those ones I don't think would ever tie in good. But this one ties in good because what it is like we've said
another great art in this book.
Yes, great art, and this cover is
the way they've drawn Rhino here is spectacular. He looks great. His face is a little bit wonky.
Not in this picture, but in the rest of the issues, yeah. Pardon me. So again, this book is taking the same place at the same time as the Devil's Reign thing, and like we've mentioned before with all the Devil's Reign stuff, is that the Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, being the mayor of I was going to say Winnipeg, being the mayor of New York, is taking a stance to get rid of all vigilantes and superheroes. And so he has taken the bad guys and turned them back into Thunderbolts, and they're the police force now. So he has these people, the Thunderbolts out there doing what he wants, kind of good and bad. And this is just the first issue. I don't know if there's going to be more than one or not. I think there'd probably just be one.
No, there's another one.
Did it say
there's definitely number 2 because their ending there leads into the next issue.
Oh, yeah, right. So then, so that's what's going on. He has kind of a weird team of Thunderbolts this time. He has, let's see, he's got the female Electro, Rhino, he's got Taskmaster, he's got Whiplash, and then he's got Agony. And I wasn't sure.
That was weird, but it looked good.
Yeah, it's a neat character. I'm not a huge symbiote fan.
I can't stand the symbiote.
Yeah, so I wasn't really too familiar with this character. But once she did her first attack there, where she sprayed acid on that dude or whatever, it made me remember who she was because I remember that. And it's just like the Fly movie, like how the Fly would upchuck acid onto somebody. So that was kind of gross there. And that book had a lot more violence and killing in it than I was expecting. Like I know they're bad guys and that, but they were killing out in public. Like the Taskmaster was like shooting guys with arrows and they'd fall off buildings and then splat on the ground and you would see that. Or the Rhino was like ripping people apart and so I mean, or that Lashley, like I said, or not Lash, what is her name? Agony. Agony was spitting like acid on people's faces and their hands and kissing them and that, so it was acid inside out, like. So pretty violent, especially for a Marvel book.
Just a standard Marvel title, yeah.
But again, enjoyable. So that surprised me. Oh, and not too much of a spoiler there too, but at the end of the book, U.S. Agent shows up, and he wants to become a Thunderbolt. So I don't know if that's
MCU tie-in there.
Well, I'm not too worried about that, but I just don't know if is he showing up because he wants to be like a Thunderbolt, or is he showing up to be like a spy / mole type of thing? Because that's probably what they'll think too.
That's how I know there's a second issue.
Yeah,
for sure.
I forgot about that part.
He's the cover image.
Yeah, I forgot about that part.
Next up is one that I've been waiting for back since they announced it. That's Ben Reilly Spider-Man.
Yeah, me too. Except this one cover I do like, but it kind of looks like he has boobs a little bit. So it kind of looks like Spider-Girl.
Well, let's see how you look when you're folded into a C like that.
I would look good because I'm in my week 3 of my 8-week program.
I thought you were going to say in your prime.
No, I'm not. I'm in my prime plus.
Yeah, and another book that's got that sort of old style corner box art.
And again, that's that original logo, the Ben Reilly Spider-Man logo.
Yep.
Yeah, and this book is neat, and that whole trade dress or that title and letterbox corner thing, whatever you want to call it, ties in well with this one because originally when I picked this book up to read, I thought it was taking place in current time now because Ben Reilly is back in the Spider-Man.
Alongside
he's doing that, but it's not. It actually takes place like when he first showed up. So it's just like. Kind of like that symbiote Spider-Man Crossroads or whatever it's called there. It's actual stories that take place back then in that original times, like during the Clone Saga and stuff. So that was pretty interesting there because I was not expecting that. We both really love the art in here.
Fantastic
Yeah,
art.
the way they draw the Spider-Man, especially in his suit, is like sharp, like on crispy point there.
Well, like we were talking about just before the show, this version of the spider suit, I mean, other than your black suit, but if you're just talking red and blue suit,
Yeah.
this one is probably second most iconic.
I like the original Spider-Man suit. I like this suit, and I like the original Scarlet Spider suit, and I like original Black Spider.
This one it presents so well.
Yeah.
Like even like you said, it looks a little bit
Oh,
silly here on the
I like
cover,
Spidey 29.
but it looks great in poses, and it's simple
Yeah,
enough to do.
I was just kidding a little bit there, but yes, and
the pose is a little weird.
no, he's totally backflipping around the web there. I can tell. He's reaching the apex. The art there is done by David Baldean, and yeah, that was really good. I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's J.M. DeMatteis is doing the writing. So what it is that what me and Tyler described. It takes place in the '90s run. So it was anybody who
it feels like it.
It feels like it and looks like it. So
actually, that and our next book, they feel like they've both come directly out of the '90s series.
Yeah. And what happens here, like the story itself is nothing too mind blowing, or it doesn't kind of retcon or change the future or anything. You just got some stuff going on where he's still struggling that he's Ben Riley, but he's still so tied up emotionally and memory wise to being Peter Parker. So he's trying to get over that. He's trying to establish being back in New York and not being on the road for 5 years as Peter. He still wants to be. He's still Spider-Man, but he's Ben Riley. Peter and Mary Jane have kind of moved off to Portland to have kids, and that's all happened back then. So again, nothing really changes there.
Well, it's 5 years after he found out that he's not actually Peter Parker, and that he was the clone.
Yeah, so
it's all in that same.
It's all that same normal storyline.
Yeah.
So, or timeline, but what happens in here, and again, nothing too spectacular. Spectacular, you get that? He fights Carrion, which is kind of cool.
A villain you haven't seen in a long time.
I like Carrion. Carrion's always been a great villain. And he also fights. Looks like he's gonna fight Scorpion in the end there. So just classic throwback fun. But again, I was a little thrown off because I thought it was gonna be in modern times, so I enjoyed it a little bit more that it wasn't. Just because I don't like the whole Beyond Corporation stuff in the Ben Riley stuff. But I think we thought that, and I think most people will think that because it is out during the same time, but they're probably, like you said, just piggybacking on the popularity, seeing if they can have another single Ben Riley's
Marvel knows that people haven't been a fan of Spider-Man for the last couple of years. He started off strong when they did ASM 1 again. It started off good with Campbell's run.
Yeah.
And then it just became too long with Kindred. Yeah. And now the whole Beyond Corporation stuff is not awful, but it's not very good either.
And it's filler. And it's filler because they have Ramada coming back with his other writing
exactly.
Other
Come April, partner. They're going back to number one again. So,
but again, too, what's interesting about this. And I saw somebody else mention this too in another review, and I can't remember who. It might be Gem Mint, or it might have been Rock and Robbie. That was even though this is a clone of Spider-Man, and same with Silk, who also has a number 1 this month, is a clone of Spider-Man.
Well,
it is.
Silk's not a clone.
Well, whatever. It's basically the same thing as Peter Parker, but female. So it's basically like a clone. There's nothing different. This series is much more enjoyable, where the Silk one is just I didn't even review it or look at it.
That's the second number 1 Silk's had in 9 months.
Yeah, it's just nobody ever sticks to it's just not well written or good stories in that. So it's just interesting that they're the same character, and we already have, like you said, a Spider-Man book out there. So how much do they differ? But again, this one just has such a much more interesting backstory.
That's one thing I've enjoyed about the Beyond Corporation stuff is I prefer.
Don't like that.
No, but Ben Riley. I do prefer him as a Spider-Man, because the Spider-Man that they've been writing and what sort of he's been, no one's really enjoyed. Everyone says, "Oh, we want Spider-Man back to basics," and that's what Ben Riley is, and I still see people complaining.
Of course, that's what the world does nowadays.
But we've spent enough time on Spider-Man.
No, we did a lot on the She-Hulk too. I don't mind going deeper into books that actually you can talk a lot about. So because there's other books here that maybe not so much. But that's okay, go on. Plus,
Next up,
it's our show.
Silver Surfer Rebirth #1.
Again, another book that takes place in the 90s.
Straight out of the 90s.
Well, the 90s writing team even too.
Mhm.
It's
This
Ron
one looks
Lim
the
and
most like a 90s cover.
yeah, well, because
Like
it's done by them.
This could be an homage. Like it's got the little text box up there. It's fantastic.
Well, it is exactly the same because it's the same.
Again,
the same
fantastic
team.
artwork.
It's it's Ron Mars and Ron Lim doing it. So I mean, that's the original guys that did that 90s run there.
Mhm.
And again, this one's kind of, it takes place, well, no, this one I thought would be taking in that 90s time, and then it turned out it's not. So
But the writing style is the exact same as that series.
Yeah, it would
like,
have.
You've got the Kree and like the Marvel corpse there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, what's going on in this one here is that it starts off in the beginning, and Captain Marvel, his son there, which they call him Genesis, I believe in here now, they say, or Legacy. He has a weird name now. And he's trying to rescue a ship that's getting sucked into like a black hole.
let's see.
So it's right in when he shows up there.
Mhm.
And it is right here. Legacy. And he is trying to
It's
rescue.
a little right on the nose.
Yeah, he's trying to rescue a ship that's getting sucked into a black hole, and he can't pull it free. And that, so Silver Surfer shows up and helps him do that. So then the two of them start traveling, I guess, talking and traveling to the next, cosmic adventure type thing. Just talking and tell me more about my dad, because he never knew his dad, but obviously Silver Surfer did, and he's telling him how great he is and stuff like that. And then there's this big flash, and the Silver Surfer now is not sailing through space with Legacy, but he's on a planet flying next to the original Captain Marvel. And he's like, Marvel's like, whoa, why do you look so shocked all of a sudden, Surfer? Let's get your head in the game. And then they're fighting like this war against these aliens and stuff like that. And then he can't figure out like what's going on. Like, you're dead and all this. But again, he's just like, just help me. So then they do this fighting and stuff. And then Thanos shows up at the end, and you don't know what's going on. So that's kind of neat. I just want to see what's going on from there, because is this, I don't know what they're doing here. Is this a way of them like reintroducing some stuff? Like, I know they'll never bring Captain Marvel back, because that's one of the things they just said they'll never ever do. And if they do, people will get super pissed off. But just interesting, because knowing the team behind it and that, and I want to know if it's actually going to take place to something now. Because it starts off in current time, so I don't know, interesting. And again, just a fun read if you're a fan of the 90s, or that original, not original, but that Volume 2 Silver Surfer run from the 90s. And again, I saw
that was a pretty popular series at the time.
Oh, it was huge.
There was a cartoon based off of it and everything.
Oh yeah. But that cartoon had wicked old Ditko art, or like homage to Kirby Ditko art. Yeah. And again, this is a cool cover too, and there was quite a few different covers for this as well. Like, there was some really nice, I mean, there's always nice covers, but, that's something else.
This year has been really great for covers, and I said that in our last few episodes before the new year. I said, keep an eye out on covers, because there's some beautiful cover A's, not even cover B's.
Well, what's happening nowadays, and I have no problem with it, it's just some purists in that do, is that people are buying comics for the cover art, and not for the stories and stuff, which is whatever. I mean, people used to buy record albums for the same thing, right? But I mean, certain people don't like that. Well, what I was going to say about covers, and we'll rant a little bit later, is that there's some companies like Image, who does Department of Truth. They're not even putting out exclusives anymore for people, especially for Department of Truth, because of the paper shortage issues and that. So that's tough for people like retailers like us, who that's what we do. We sell exclusive covers. So it's wow. It just blows my mind every time I hear more and more about stuff like that. How much the world's being affected. But,
well, yeah, I mean, IDW's just opened up again to people doing exclusives.
Yeah, and that might change. Yeah.
That might change again now.
Well, yeah, especially too when they don't have hardly anything left to do exclusives for. So
we have one book in here from them. I think that's the one after our next one.
Yeah.
And our next one is Catwoman number 39.
Oh, can I say one more thing while we're talking about printing and covers and stuff like that? I was speaking with someone earlier tonight, and we kind of alluded to it a few weeks ago, how we're going to be promoting something coming out pretty soon. That's not just a cover, but a whole brand new book. And I saw the books fresh off the press tonight. They sent me a picture of it. And oh man, I don't like swearing on this show too much because I like sometimes people like have their kids around for it. But holy F, beautiful. I'm pumped for these books. I can't release or say anything yet.
You cannot say anything.
No, but
all.
hopefully within the next couple of weeks we'll get the okay and the final details done. But I'll be excited.
Fortunate that they're able to get stuff printed though at the press when other stuff with larger companies are having to push their books back because they can't get to press yet.
I don't know the story behind that. That's just whatever. That they've been waiting for a long time too, maybe. So maybe they just got lucky. I'm not too sure, or maybe you have to pay more to get pushed to the front. I don't know. Or who knows where it's coming from. Maybe it got printed out there. I don't know. But like I said, it's not just an exclusive cover that we'll be pushing. It's a brand new book that we'll be pushing for the first time ever. So, yeah, stay tuned, guys. I'm sure you'll really like it. Awesome. Now you can go on. Because that was exciting. We got that right before the show started. And I showed you that picture.
Yeah, so next up, Catwoman 39. I'm not a huge Catwoman fan, so
I'm not
this
either,
isn't one
but
that I've read. I flipped through it, and the art looks nice. I really enjoyed Catwoman's outfit in this. You get appearances from Black Mask. And
it's so funny you say outfit, because this book is about, and I had it on the review because it just sounded like kind of cheeky fun when I was saw the solicitation. This one here, Catwoman goes undercover as a stripper. So it's so funny you said you liked her outfit.
Well, the Catwoman suit itself looked good.
Yeah. She had a stripper one too, kind of, but
I flipped through it literally in less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know, because you were busy and stuff. But I read it too, and I read all my stuff right before the show too, because it's just been so busy the last few weeks with all kinds of NatDaddy stuff.
Yeah, it's like someone keeps overscheduling us.
I do. That's my fault, but I see an opportunity and it works out. So what's going on here? And you got Teenie Howard still writing, and I don't mind some of the Catwoman Teenie Howard stuff, or even any of the Catwoman stories. I just don't like, much like Batman, sometimes I think she just gets portrayed too much. And then you got Nico Leon doing the art, and some really nice art in here. A lot of complex lines, like a lot of detail lines in that, and then a lot not. But yeah, really sharp. Not a super special story. Like I said, I wanted to check it out because they were soliciting that she was a stripper, and she's got that on. She's actually on a stripper pole there in the beginning, and or on the cover. So yeah, Selena goes undercover as a stripper, and she wants to infiltrate a meeting of all these mafia heads. They're having a meeting about, it's like, I guess that's where they do it, at the Soprano style at the nudie club. And she does that, and breaks it up and sends her message and stuff like that. Ooh, stuff like that.
Everybody take a drink.
Yeah. And so then but what happens is she doesn't know until it starts, the stuff's going down, is that Black Mask is a part of this group, and he's trying to join this table. So
Black Mask is one of my favorite Batman villains.
I do.
And it's not that I've read a whole lot of stuff. He just looks cool.
He's cool. And
he's a really cool character.
And he's just plain psycho, so it's like he doesn't have any kind of limitations, and like any kind of like does stuff in theme or whatever. He's just a psycho gangster. Yeah, so he ends up the meeting gets canceled and stuff, and he's pissed off because he can't join this group. So he's after Catwoman now. So there's always repercussions there, and yeah, that's about it. There seems to be this new person, like we don't really know what the story is, but he seems to be like on the same level as Catwoman, like mysterious wise and activity wise, getting in and out places. Don't know if he's going to be like a love interest or what. So they're kind of playing cat and mouse games. And yeah, so we'll see about that. But yeah, nothing too special. It is it could be a good jumping off point if you haven't checked out Catwoman in a little while, because it's the start of a 4-issue series, and they say a new era there. So
well, not a series; it's just a new arc.
Oh, that's what I meant, arc.
Yeah,
that's what I meant. Sorry, arc.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of cool. But I mean, again, I wanted to check it out because that cover is pretty cool, and the story itself didn't really involve her too much as being a stripper, compared to some of the other books that I read later on in here, where there was a lot of nudity and definitely sexy, graphic sexiness. So again, I knew
Sexy graphic sexy.
well, I didn't know how to say it without like sounding stupid. I came out saying it even more stupid. You know, in a DC, you know, you can't show too much in that, but these other ones show like a ton. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed in that, but it was, you know, still a cool story.
Yeah. Next up, we got from IDW, one of the things they have left in their catalog.
Why are we so hating on them? Because we like IDW.
I don't know what they're doing to lose all their proproperties, because they do good.
It's been the same story for like 7 years.
But it's the Teenage Mutant Punk Frogs.
Yeah, this one I read.
So Ninja Turtles 125.
Yeah, I read a lot of books all the time. But there's only a few books that I actually like buy like nonstop continuously, and Turtles is one of them. Just because like I love Turtles.
I don't read any Turtles. Honestly, it's not something that I've ever been super into. And
you like Turtles, just like not the Turtles comic.
Yeah, like the property as a whole, I enjoy.
Yeah,
just not. Yeah. Anyway, and flipping through it, the art is fantastic.
Yeah,
they're drawing them, and I don't know if this is how it is, but they draw them, and it feels so much like the classic Turtles Adventures comic.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about this. It's Pablo Tunica doing the art, and then you got Sophie Campbell doing the writing. And Sophie Campbell's doing the writing for, I can't remember if it's all of the run here, but a good portion of this IDW run. And it's been very well. She's took the Turtles to all new levels, brought in all kinds of new characters, like really expand the universe in that. But you still have Eastman kind of like consulting all the time too, which is great too, because he's like one of my favorites of all time, Eastman. So what's going on here, you get the first appearance of the Punk Frogs. And the Punk Frogs are like a gang of guys, and they're not like ninjas or special trained like a lot of the other guys. They're just, you know, punk gang. And they show up, and they are there to confront the Turtles in their dojo, because they have one of their members is missing, and they think that the Turtles are somehow involved in the taking of this turtle. And it is, they throw down in that, and they leave, and the dojo ends up burning to the ground. So that's what goes on there. So there'll be more going on there. Yeah, it's... People don't read the stories about the Turtles enough. I guess because they feel there's too much history in that. But it's great. You know, I know you don't like animal characters a lot, like animomorphic characters, but there's so many more characters in here now besides just Turtles. And you know, you got these Punk Frogs, and they've always been a frog before there was Genghis Frog. But they got so many other ones here, and
Genghis Frog.
Yeah, they do. They had one called Genghis Frog.
He
was on, and Napoleon Bonaparte too. He was a frog as well, I believe. And yeah, he was the frog with the Hawaiian shirt and skateboard. He
oh yeah.
There was they have this whole area of like New York that's, you know, kind of like sanctioned to them. That's called Mutant Town, and that's where they all live in that almost like a no man's land, and so they get supplies from the outside government when they're allowed and that. So it's a neat story. It's really cool. I love Turtles. Like I said, there's so many different kinds of mutants there now. So yeah, it's just great. I'm a sucker for Turtles.
So. Another book that is some more anthropomorphic characters. Animal Castle.
This book, I knew about this book, like you said, before #1 came out, so I was well aware of it, and I pre-ordered my copies and stuff.
That first one took off.
Yeah, it just blew up like crazy, like even bigger than some of the other stuff that's blown up lately too. But yeah, this one went huge. So when second issue came out now, they did a first reprint of the first issue, which again, that's strange. I mean, not strange, but getting more and more rare. But this is a blaze. So.
My one gripe I have with this, and it's the same thing with the first issue, is the lettering is tiny.
It is.
It did seem a bit bigger.
Yeah.
I feel like they weren't fitting as much on the page. But it's still very small. And I have it on my big computer screen. I read it today. And it's still small.
Yeah, I found that in that Catwoman book, too, because it's black.
Is it a regular size book, too? So, that's got to be tough.
Yeah, and I find that with this too, because the lettering is meant to be done in that style, so it looks like old style, like old style, like old fashioned.
Old scriptures.
Old scripture. Yeah, and again too, I also feel like you too, like they have to fit so much information in there. So I do feel like that too. But everything else about this book is truly mind blowing. Like,
The art's fantastic.
yeah,
It is really, really good.
it is. Yeah, the
I
art.
don't think there's been one book this week that I haven't really enjoyed the art.
No, but this one, the art in here is very, very detailed. It's almost like each one is almost like a
It reminds me of like old classic Winnie the Pooh, how it's like very detailed cartoon characters
yeah.
where it's not super real,
It's
but
not.
they're very detailed.
Yeah,
they're very
It's not
alive.
It's not soft in any
Yeah.
way. Yeah, that. Yeah, I didn't want to say it's hard because it's not a hard edge, but it's not soft in any
Mhm.
way.
It's defined.
Yeah, very defined. Yeah. So again, so it doesn't feel like kid-like at all, and it's not kid-like. So like I said, you had that person doing the art, and then you have let's see, the writer's name is Xavier. Is Xavier Davidson, and it's an adaptation of a story that everybody knows already, like Animal Farm, but it is very, very violent, like very violent, very graphic, like not gory graphic like Jason or anything like or Maniac from New York, but very graphic and like in a realistic way, like
very Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
very,
Game of Thrones.
Very The Boys.
Yeah, if
they
you
don't hold their punches.
No, if you're getting tortured, they show you getting tortured, or a sword fight, someone gets their hand cut off, it's getting sliced off, and it's the story itself is just plain old brutal. Like it just shows that even though it's animals and that, it just shows how brutal society and animals can be. That is a great book. I'm going to talk about that book a lot.
That's next.
Yeah, that's the one I was saying. It was very graphic, sexual graphic. Yeah. So it's strange to explain. I'll tell you why. But yeah, that book is good. I think the way it's going, the whole series will be awesome. If this does get turned into an animated flick of some sort, like a Netflix show or an Amazon movie, and that, it will do well.
Yeah.
But it will be kind of, I wouldn't say hampered, but there will be a lot of flack if they keep it like true to story because of that.
I say it's more of an Amazon property.
Oh yeah, it won't be nothing Disney or soft or anything. It won't be in a theater. It'll definitely be
I see this being handled more by Amazon. I find Amazon handles the more mature stuff very well.
Yeah.
Netflix is a little bit more family friendly.
Take Disney.
General audiences.
Yeah. Yeah, it would definitely have to be like very, very addressed as like this is not kid-like at all.
Yeah. But and I think it was it Mike Ruth we were talking about in his interview that the world is ready for adult animation, or
right.
was that JM?
I think I'm not sure exactly who said that, but
yeah,
no, it would have been Mike. It might have been Mike. Oh, it might have been JM too, actually.
Yeah. But I mean, if they could have very well both said it, where the world's ready for
adult animation that's not like manga, and it's not like nudie adult animation, you know, like Fritz the Cat. I don't know, you won't know that, but Harold don't ever know what Fritz the Cat was.
With the black and white cat.
No, that's Felix the Cat.
Oh god.
Oh, although Fritz the Cat's like a parody of that. Fritz the Cat's like imagine like Howard the Duck type of humor, but like super raunchy and like no holds barred.
Okay. Next up, Bolero
from Image Comics.
So before we get into this, I had not read this, and I just flipped through it now.
You can see from the cover itself where it's going.
I can't believe that this is a general public release book. This is like Playboy, shocking.
Soft porn.
Oh, it's not very soft. It's pretty in your face.
There's no penetration.
I don't think that's true.
Okay, I know, just kidding. Yeah, this is a great book. It's from Image.
That being said, looks fantastic.
Oh, it's great.
Nice art, but oh my god.
This is the one I kept referring to that was like very, very sexual. So what this one is it's written by Wyatt Kennedy, and you got I don't know if it's Luana Vicchio doing the art. Pardon me. Oh, choking. And the art in here is amazing. See, I told you.
Mm-hmm.
Harold remembers those cats. What is in here is like it's a woman who's like, had a bad relationship. She's heartbroken and she's kind of running away from it. And she ends up finding like this mother key thing to like parallel dimensions, kind of like a lock and key type of thing, but not
less creepy, clicky clacky.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's not. It's more like a portal
Anyone
dimension.
that's seen Lock and Key, whenever they use that brain key or mind key, oh, the sound it makes when it clicks in their neck, just oh.
No, the sound it makes when it enters its neck.
Oh, whatever. It's just
so what happens is she finds this and this thing that lets her enter these other dimensions, and you can see that from like the cover there. And what happens is when you go through these dimensions, you enter into other people's bodies. So that's
like,
how there was.
What's the show called there?
Oh, like Quantum Leap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they're also bringing back. I just heard.
I saw that too. They're going to reboot it.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about that because that was one of my favorite shows.
I remember watching that as a kid.
I remember because I had it on DVD.
Yeah.
So when she's enters other people's bodies, but when you enter these people's bodies, you and she lives like all kinds of sexual fantasy stuff out in there, and there's like super graphic, male, female. It's almost like virtual sex, but again with somebody else's body in that. But then there are certain rules. One of the rules is you can't do it more than 53 times, and I can't remember if it's
such a contrived number.
Yeah, like you can do it, but there are certain rules, and I can't remember if because I read it this evening all at once. It gets blurred. I don't remember if it's 53 times in one person or 53 times in total. So I can't remember, but it's it's a really interesting story. Very sexual. So anybody who's like stuff like Eropsyche or that what's that one that we were
despite all the nudity,
Spider Killer one,
despite all the nudity and the raunchiness of this, I still like it more than I like any Dynamite stuff.
Oh yeah, because it's got a good
there's an actual story.
Yeah, and it's an interesting story too. Yeah, I get you. Well, that one book I'm liking from right now, like I said, the Mirka and Adolfo, Red Sonja is really good. And I also really...
Red Sonja is kind of the exception.
Yeah, well, it depends, because...
She has a proper history.
And I also like that new one from Pantera, I think it's called.
Yeah, I think...
Yeah, that was a good one. Cool. Yeah, you can move to the next one. This is this my book that I would suggest everybody reads the most this week? Yes, it is.
Or the one coming up?
Yeah, okay.
Which one? Bolero?
What's the next book?
My Date with Monsters.
Oh, My Date with Monsters and Heathens or Aftershock books. And Aftershock books always go to the top of my list. I don't include them anymore in my picks. Because
Aftershock, they always take the top of the list.
Yeah. I love my Aftershock books.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been reaching out to some of their...
artists.
Yes, artists and writers. And we've been reaching out to some of their creative talent. And Mr. Moody being one of them. We still haven't heard back from him yet because we're playing a lot of crazy email tag here. So we should be having him soon. But yeah, I love my Aftershock books. So they're separate. But yes, this one is great. My Date with Monsters number 3. I know when we first reviewed this book for number 1, you said you didn't particularly care for this story at first. But I really like this story. What it is it's written by Paul Tobin.
It's not that I don't like it. It's compared to other Aftershock stuff that we had read around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't making my top list.
Oh, okay. How do you feel now, though?
I haven't read it.
Oh, okay.
I haven't read it this week.
Well, what's going on in this one too? You got Paul Tobin doing the writing and Andy McDonald doing the art, and I'm pretty sure I didn't check. I meant to, and I forgot. I'm pretty sure that cover is done by Andy McDonald as well. So it's like the same inside and outside. And what's going on here? You can see on the cover there that there's a lot that goes on in this story. And what I wrote on one of the Aftershock pages one day when they were talking about this book coming out, I said, this is the book that everybody really thinks that Monsters, Inc. should be. Like I said, it's like the anti-Monsters Inc. movie. Because,
I don't know. I like Monsters, Inc. exactly how it is.
I know, but this is like this, because it's silly and funny, but this is how it'd be like in like real life. So what it is here is, and I've mentioned it before when we did number 1, is that the world now is like kind of screwed up from like these medical experimentations and that. So people have to take these drugs all the time. So when they sleep, they can't dream, because if you dream, the dreams come to life and attack and kill people. So what's going on here? And the woman in the yellow sweater is like a doctor who's been working on this all and everything. And her daughter is like one of the people that can like help save it all. So they kind of not experiment with her, but work with her and that. And the big creature in the middle there is Croak, and he's like one of these monsters, and he's around to help protect them and that. And he actually eats the other monsters when the nightmares and stuff to deal with them. And he's just like this gross badass, but slash father figure, Uncle Buck type bodyguard. And there is one monster now that has come out, and it's kind of like the nemesis of the story, and it's called Chub, and it's going around just killing everybody and stealing their psyches and that. So they're trying to deal with all that, because the daughter there is somehow connected to be like some kind of savior, and she's after that too. So that's a lot to fill in there, but there's a lot of funniness in this book too, because of this croak creature and that. But there's some killer action, and oh yeah, too, I forgot, all this is going on too while the mom there has been, the daughter's trying to get the mom hooked up on dating apps. So she's going out on all these kind of random apps, dates from apps, and that's why it's called My Date with Monsters. So I'm sure that's going to hook up in there too, but really neat story, something that's original, very, very cool. Yeah.
Want to learn how to change things in case I'm not here?
No.
Push the transition button.
Well, I saw that. I just finished anyways, though.
I know, I heard. That's why I rushed back down.
Oh, that's not the Heathens cover. But that's okay.
Is it not?
No, that's not the Heathens cover I have. But sorry, that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Heathens number 3 from Aftershock, and this book here is written by Cullen Bunn. And not only Cullen Bunn is a great Aftershock writer, Cullen Bunn is much like Jeff.
I don't think we've ever covered anything of his.
Really? We've covered. Yeah. Okay, you're being slow. Yeah.
We cover literally everything he does.
Yeah, I was gonna say
fantastic.
He's up there with Lemire, and that's weird. That's it.
That's number 4.
That's it. Oh,
that's number 1.
Well, can you show other covers for this one? Doesn't really matter. So Cullen Bunn's just a great writer.
There isn't any for some reason.
Okay, maybe mine just looks weirder. I'm all screwed up now. Oh yeah, so Cullen Bunn, one of the best writers out there, not even just for Aftershock. And then what's going on in here, and this again too has a lot of stuff going on. But what we said before is the Heathens are a team of dead evil people, and they're famous dead people, or not necessarily famous, but well known. Like one, there's Billy the Kid in there. There's a couple, Bugsy Johnson. A couple of famous gangsters. Who else is in there? There's this one lady pirate. She's kind of like the leader of the group, and their job is to go out and collect like the souls of evil people who have escaped hell. So like in certain, like it could be anybody that escaped hell. So they're kind of like bounty hunters, and they're almost like the Suicide Squad. They're Suicide Squad for hell, really. And they actually answer to Stalin, of all people, and that. So I mean, it's funny the people they have running hell and that. So that's what they do. And then now and when they do this to get like time off their hell sentence, kind of like the Suicide Squad as well. But if they do anything that is not accepted by the people running it, they get killed and brought back. So you can't kill any innocents, and you can only kill the people that you're supposed to bring back, and do nothing evil as well too. So they're out there doing that, and they're after their biggest prize, and it's gonna set them all free type thing is Jack the Ripper. So they're trying to chase down Jack the Ripper, who's gone through hell. So Jack the Ripper is running around, and he's influencing people, and he's forming like a big cult. So they have to deal with that as well too. But these guys, being who they are, criminals and murderers and stuff like that, they're starting to think, well, maybe this isn't what we need to do, though. So much like Suicide Squad, it's like, well, maybe we want to take off. So lots of interesting, back and forth there, and great artwork, and again, cool story writing. Like, I go over it very fast because just an overview and that, but there's a whole lot more detail there. Like Billy the Kid, he doesn't want to hang out with the guys, and that he wants to more take care of like prostitutes and streetwalkers, and that kind of relates to them because I
Mm-hmm.
think his mom was one and stuff. So everyone's kind of having a little bit more of their own agendas come through. So a very, very interesting read. Much similar or much like, but not totally the same. There's like that Seven Swords series from Aftershock, but I'm enjoying this one a little bit more, and I think it's just because everybody likes
more diversity than Seven Swords.
Well, and I just find like everybody likes bad guys. Like everybody always thinks the bad guys are better characters when it comes to stuff. You know, like
not wrong.
Like who's like the best character in Star Wars? Is Darth Vader, right? You know, people would rather see a show about Darth Vader, or I'm just saying like, you know, Megatron. People love Megatron. You know, people love the bad guys. You know, you can't have a good comic book.
Complex.
Yeah. So I like that. Like Joker. People love a Joker show just about the Joker. You know, like that's pretty cool.
Speaking of Star Wars,
or Kingpin. Like another thing too, Kingpin. You could have a whole TV show on the Kingpin, which they're gonna have.
That's based. They're not gonna have a Kingpin TV show.
Yeah, yeah.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
That's basically what the Daredevil show was. It was so much Kingpin. It was a Daredevil and Kingpin show.
No, it's not gonna be how the Kingpin's modern. It's gonna be how he becomes Kingpin. It's like him growing up.
That's what the first season of Daredevil was.
No.
Agree to disagree.
Was that the last book?
That was the last book. Yep.
Okay.
Or last one I had. I don't think there was anything else.
No, there was a lot of number ones and stuff this week, but there wasn't like a lot of great stuff. Like I don't even have my week pick of the week. Like you know,
they were all good.
Yeah, because these are all good, and there's nothing really like there's nothing explosive.
There's other stuff we wanted to cover, but it's so much stuff, and even you're finding now that picking a huge list of stuff is difficult to keep up with.
Well, yeah, because when we pick the lists, a lot of time, again, and I'll start doing the rants again, is we can't get them because they're not coming in on time, whether it's shipping issues or things getting screwed up in transition, or they're just not coming out on time because of the printing paper shortage, or some places are getting them and other places aren't. And when I try and stuff that I can't get in physical, that's hard to get, or just small press stuff. I try and do it electronically. I try and do it digitally, and it's they don't show up either there because they're smaller things, so they don't, unless you, like Tyler said, unless they're like scanned, and that it's hard. So yes, to your question, yes, it's getting tough, but I enjoy it because then when it makes you decide how to, when you do pick a book, there's a reason for it, right? So you want to be passionate about it.
Yeah, you're more selective for choosing.
For sure.
Quality over quantity these days.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised when we had so much Marvel this week.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it.
I wanted to cut.
Because we don't
I wanted to cut some, but they were great.
Yeah, like because there's still.
We didn't have a single Star Wars book. We only had one DC book. We could have done that new Batman one, Batman I'm the Knight, or whatever.
Batman the Knight.
The Knight. But no one wants to see a new origin.
And that's the only...
Good. Hearing good things, but it's like the same Batman origin going off to become Batman.
And that's the only reason why we didn't cover it, because that's written by Chip Zdarsky. Yeah.
All right. Book of Boba. I think we're done with the flashbacks now. It seems like we're all caught up. Essentially, by the end of his flashbacks in this episode, he was fully intertwined with season 1 of The Mandalorian and finding Fennec, dying on the ground after she was shot.
Well, it seemed like all the flashback stuff happened when he was always in that regenerative chamber, right?
It was, yeah.
And then now he's
100%
healed. Yeah.
Yeah. And something I noticed, and there was something I didn't notice. I was watching something, and they referenced it. And everyone said it's a bit of a mob show. It's whatever. It's kind of like Sopranos, and
it's Western Sopranos.
They're comparing Boba in the Bacta tank to what's his name there? Tony Soprano is in his therapy sessions at the beginning of episodes, talking about his past and this and that. And I thought that's a really good comparison. Yeah. That's definitely what it is,
for sure.
But yeah, we see Boba, he gets his ship back, which they're still not calling the Slave One. It has no name anymore officially.
Yeah. This show still has everything that the other shows are having there. You got some action.
Kills the Sarlacc.
You get a lot of character development.
Oh yes.
like tons for all the characters. You get stuff that links into the universe,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still, even though it's Star Wars characters, it still to me feels more like a Western than, like, it feels to me like The Good, Bad, and the Ugly than a Star Wars show. And I appreciate that so much
Mm-hmm.
because that's what, like, yes, Boba Fett is a Star Wars character, but Boba Fett is he's
Wait
the
till they
man.
start
He's the
bringing.
man with no name. He's Clint Eastwood, man. Like,
Well, yeah, and he gives a reason, and everyone's complaining. Well, why is Boba so or Boba? Now I'm doing you, Boba. Boba.
that's because I had a Boba.
He's doing the like why he wanted to become a daimyo and
Mhm.
have start his own family.
Yeah.
And they cover that, and it makes sense, and it's what we've been saying the whole time.
Yeah.
He's tired of dealing with all these people above him that are
Yeah.
idiots.
True. So yeah, this episode was awesome.
Wait till they get all the new, well, not new, but they're starting to building up this little army.
Yeah.
It's going to be like Hateful Eight.
I know, and that's what's cool too, is this army's got these young, like, techno punk kids, which
The mod
squad, yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, they still remind me of, like, neutrinos from the Turtles, but no, obviously, no,
I do think they're kind of dumb, but the whole weird modification cybernetics thing there is precedent for it in the comics,
Yes.
with Vader comics, that Dr. Cyclo and his
and especially the way,
modified people.
and especially how this episode is almost like not the origin of Fennec Shonk or whatever her name is, but it's like the
Rebirth.
the origin of them meeting and forming their bond there.
Yeah.
Where she's all, I didn't realize she was all like robot inside either.
Yeah, they show it very briefly in Mandalorian season 2 when he's like, "Aren't you dead?"
I thought she only had like a robotic arm or something like that. But they say that to all the good, like, people like that. They used to say it to Han Solo all the time too. But yeah, this had all that going on. It shows how they became like partners or a team. Shows like all a bit of her history, and I, you know me, I said it all the time here. Now I really like her, so to have a whole show about her was really awesome.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and she showed up in the cartoons as well.
Yeah.
In Bad Batch, she's been in Bad Batch, which is supposed to be dropping its second season in spring of this year.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then also too, no, they go back to the Sarlacc pit to try and get his armor back and everything. Like there was so much like different stuff in here. But I mean, and they got that black Christanian again here, Chrysanthemum. That black Wookiee in here again.
Hey, you can't say that.
Oh, sorry. I like this Wookiee because he you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me, like, it sounds kind of silly. Like, it reminds me like they based this Wookiee off Shaq. Like the facial expressions he made, like when that one dude hit him with the bottle, and he just kind of turns around. He looks like something like Shaq would do.
Two things about Black Chrysanthemum. I have to correct myself from last week or week before when I was talking about saying I don't think they covered his full origin. They actually did, and I think it's Dr. Aphra Annual Number 1, and it covers his time in the fighting pits. And I don't read Dr. Aphra, so I didn't know that, but I had that brought up to me. Second, the reason that he just randomly gets angry at these Trandoshans, the same species as Bosk, is because they've enslaved Wookiees for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah, they went into more backstory there too.
Yeah, they're the ones that actually enslaved him and stole him from Kashyyyk, made him become this warrior. And it really great backstory for someone who we all know has history.
Yeah,
but he's essentially just introduced as a thug here.
Yeah, but when they went back there or like in that bar scene when he's thrashing people, and the host there is trying to talk him out of it, going through his history, like he was like this huge gladiator, and he's got thousands of titles and that, and then at the end he just kind of still rips that creature apart, like.
Let the Wookiee win.
Yeah, like it is a very good, like, it's more than just like here's a big dumb strong creature character, which I thought it was going to be, but no, you're getting some real good.
He's a really good character.
Yeah,
I
didn't even think he was going to show up anymore after that time they let him go there. I just thought, oh, there's your one shot. But yeah, they're really developing that character. They're really developing Fennec Shan. They're really developing him, and they're really developing the whole like city him interacting with this city,
Mm-hmm.
him like helping out these people, like the
Well, and it's
the
great
whole water
because
credits and that, and
Boba, he doesn't necessarily want to be this evil crime lord. But after his time with the Sand People, the
he
Tuskens,
seems like he's trying to atone.
yeah, he's trying to unify these people. He's trying to say, you can run all your parts. I don't want any part of it. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want tribute, and don't expect me to give you tribute. I just want life to be better for people here.
And loyalty to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's great.
And speaking of really great character development, let's just jump on into the next show.
Yes.
Peacemaker.
Yeah, this show again.
You see the picture I chose there.
Yeah,
your favorite character.
Eagle.
It says Eagly is Eagly.
Yeah. It should say Eagly as. It is yeah, the first episodes when we reviewed them, we thought were awesome because they were funny and foul and explosive, and John Cena stealing the show, and lots of good characters on here, and everybody who's on the show has been really great so far. What I really liked about this episode, though, and it has turned.
I was disappointed when it was only one episode released. I saw that, and it broke my heart a bit.
1 week.
I know, but we were spoiled so much with all those three dropping at the same time.
Yeah. The what's nice about this episode, or what was different and really again has set this show apart and again boosted up a level, is this whole episode still had the other stuff that we like, the action, the swears,
everybody.
But yeah, you're seeing so much more into here now. You're seeing the development of how disturbed and damaged characters are vigilante, and why he's doing what he's doing, and that you see the same thing too with Peacemaker, with John Cena's character, with Chris. You see that we all see him where he is, but we didn't really know where he comes from. And
and he has a horrific
backstory. You hear my dad's a bad guy and he treated me bad, but his dad's this super KKK guy, and you see here he was even as a teen in that he was teaching him and training him, and
not even a teenager.
Well, preteen, probably 10 to 12 or whatever. Yeah. He was tying people up and making them kill, so yeah, just horrible. And you can tell something they allude to it and they haven't said yet what, but he has a brother that has died, and he died.
Don't they go over it in the show?
Well, they will, but he died and he feels guilty, tied to it somehow, but they're going to go into it. But
they showed how he died.
I know they showed how they died, but I'm just saying, so people can watch in that. But it's just, there's a lot, there's so much internal, I'm not saying internal history, but turmoil. So again, you're invested in this character because you just feel for him. He's damaged, and you want to see how he's dealing with it, because I think all of us really are damaged to a certain degree. And we watch these shows to see how he develop. And
I blame it on my parents.
Well, everybody does, and that's what's going on in this situation too. And then same thing too with the team that kind of Nora's handlers. You see how they got they're doing
these small stuff, they gave John Economist asthma, or
I forget the woman who's playing Amanda. I forget her name. She's a famous actress, but the woman who's playing Amanda Waller's daughter. There, you see the turmoil she's going through, how she has to
she's never killed anyone
having to
before,
kill, and now she's planting seeds in people's minds to kill people. It's deep.
I love how pure of a character Vigilante is. And we've seen Vigilante show up in other stuff. He was in the Arrow TV show.
I never saw him in there,
he was good. He was a more mercenary style in there. He was not a mercenary.
Was it the same actor in that? Or
no,
different.
Totally different.
Yeah, because in here he has that whole funny, sad type of thing.
He's such a pure character, and he'll do anything to help his friend. Right? He's a genuinely good person.
But he made it worse though.
Yeah,
and that's what happens in this episode too. That this episode is everybody's trying to do what they think is the right thing, but then it's just making stuff worse. So that's it. But that's what's cool about it. It's more than just a smash 'em up show. This isn't a Fast and the Furious type of show where it's all action and comedy and one-liners and swears. There's a lot more drama and intense to this, which I was not expecting at all. Because even with James Gunn, who does your Suicide Squad and your Guardians of the Galaxy, there hasn't been. I mean, maybe a little bit in Guardians, but not as much deepness for a character as this.
Not to the same degree.
Depth, no. Yeah, and it's because it's, I guess, no movie compared to this, but
yeah.
Which is so silly. I saw something posted the other day, which made me kind of just chuckle. It said, said something to somebody. Oh, Netflix said to like a customer, "Oh, would you be interested in a 3.5 or a 4 hour movie?"
Oh,
He's like,
it was 10
"No."
hour. It
Oh
was
yeah,
10-hour
10 hour
movie.
movie. He's like, "No, I'm not watching that." He's like, "Well, what about would you like 10 1 hour shows?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna watch that, binge it all at once."
Yeah.
So I'm just like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
that was funny."
So we do have one more topic to go over, big news wise. But before we do that, we thought up an idea today. Well, you thought up the idea today
No, for a few days now.
because
Is this the contest?
no,
Oh, sorry.
because we have so many omnibuses now, and I'm slowly chugging through them.
Mm-hmm.
We thought it might be fun to sort of read some of it, and then it's all old material, right? It's classic stuff.
Oh, you're going through with this? I thought you didn't like that idea.
No, we can
Oh,
talk about it.
Oh, you didn't want me to do like a page per page thing.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're not reading Rainbow.
Okay.
So I brought a few down that I thought had some variety that maybe whoever's here, if you want to drop it in the chat, give us some input, let us know, and we'll do a poll as well.
Well, also, what's coming out in the near future? Anything that comes out near omnibus wise, I got it. Omnibus wise, that's decent in the near future. I got a few coming up on pre-order that we'll cover some new ones that come out too. So I guess we're gonna add a new feature, which Tyler always said we couldn't do before, was like graphic novels and omnibuses. But now that we're going to. So
one, and I've read maybe a sixth of it, is the Wolverine. And that's got stuff from the original Weapon X series, right? The Marvel Presents.
all his stuff.
His first 2-3 appearances in Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
The original Wolverine limited run and everything. So that's in this one. That's one we could go over.
Volume 2 comes out in March, I believe.
March or April.
Yeah, we have that one.
Another one we got is Dracula.
We also have
Dracula.
We also have Werewolf too.
Yeah, I thought this one would be more unique to go over.
Oh, everybody, we haven't talked about it yet, but the Moon Knight trailer was this week.
That's the next thing.
Oh,
we're getting there. And this has Tomb of Dracula 1-31, Werewolf by Night 15. So lots of that stuff, and that's another one we could go over. And
because this stuff's just nobody can find it in the raw to read anymore, and it's too expensive to read.
And this one just came in the mail today from the guys at Capcan.
Yeah.
So Warren and Jaden Mitchell there. Like 2 massive boxes they sent. Well, great packing job.
Yeah.
And that's the Silver Age Wonder Woman.
Oh, Alias too. That Alias one came from there too.
And what do we got in here? We've got Wonder Woman 98 to 123. So not quite as big as some of these other ones, just about. Mm-hmm. But I thought that that one's a little bit different than what we have.
The Alias one too is the Alias, the Jessica Jones series, was one too. But yeah, we have a Moon Knight one coming out. I believe that comes in when the TV show comes out. Same with She-Hulk. So I think there's a Defenders one too. Like that, and we have some upstairs too. So if anybody has any that they want us to kind of give a review about because they're curious about buying, just shoot us one. And
let us know out of these.
And it won't be on this show because this show we're at 9:10 and we're still not done yet. So I don't know what you guys have noticed, but if you have noticed this, that we've started doing like in a lot of interviews, and we always do the interviews separate. And some of those shorts that we've done in that. So I think those book reviews will be under the shorts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then we'll go over to our last big topic we got here. Oh, geez, I gotta shrink us a little bit there. Ooh.
Oh, but we still got the contest to talk about too.
You talked about it in the beginning.
Did I? Oh, yes, right.
Okay, so yeah, we got the Moon Knight trailer earlier this week.
That looks so good.
That's the official poster.
I know. That is a werewolf that he's beating the crap out of in that bathroom scene or whatever. I saw someone post a still of it on screen. It's got furry leg. That's a werewolf. They said, as in Disney, said that this show is going to have a lot of supernatural.
Well, they have for their Halloween special they have Werewolf by Night cast.
I know.
And so, werewolves aren't far off.
And vampires will be in here. You know, Blade's gonna show eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that if they do a Midnight Suns type thing, it'll end up
They
being
are.
Blade, and I don't know if they'll do a whole team up show or if it'll just be all done on one show.
They'll be called that. They'll be like the.
I know, but I don't know if they'll
Defenders.
get their own show or anything.
They will. It's been confirmed.
Oh, it's been. Did Disney come out and say that?
No, Mikey.
Oh,
Sutton,
it's not confirmed then.
Mikey Sutton did.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll see.
'Kay.
I'm not saying they won't come. I'm saying I don't think they'll get their own show. Anyway, yeah, it'll be Moon Knight, Blade, Black Knight, and
Elsa Bloodstone.
yeah, and you keep saying Morbius, but I don't think Morbius is. I think now that Andrew Garfield's getting his praise again, that the Venom stuff and any other Sony properties, they're going to take place in the Amazing Spider-Man universe.
Ghost Rider's gonna be in that. Midnight Suns.
There's actually talks that he's going to
Being here.
be mentioned in this. He's not going to be in it, but they're going to talk about a spirit and spirit of vengeance.
Yeah.
And such.
Yeah.
Same with Blade and
this
Black
looks
Knight, actually.
amazing.
Like Dane Whitman. They're
Yeah.
saying that they're not going to have big roles. They might show up closer to the end as just a cameo style.
Ethan Hawke looked awesome in here. Like he
Mhm.
looks really creepy, like vampire creepy, but we don't know if he's a vampire or not.
I think they confirmed who he was.
They confirmed his name is Harrow, but Harrow, there's a couple ways it could be interpreted. There is an actual character named Harrow. It's in National Number 2, but they don't know if Harrow in here is going to be that character or if it's going to be like an alias for him being
An
the Sun
amalgam.
King amalgamation, because they know Disney likes to do that
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
So, or if he's like a vampire. So,
And then other news we got from Moon Knight just after the trailer dropped, literally just after the trailer dropped, was that one of the actors who's in the Moon Knight series just unfortunately passed away in a skiing accident.
He was confirmed.
Gaspard Ulliel?
Ulliel. He's
Ulliel?
French. Yeah, he's
Ulliel. Oh.
Ulliel.
Ulliel.
Ulliel. He's
Ulliel.
he was confirmed because it's like on his IGN thing or whatever, as being Midnight Man. Yeah.
So hopefully he didn't have too huge of a role, and it doesn't, stifle their plans too much. But I know lots of people are also looking forward to him and this character.
Well, I think they were going to have a bigger role for him, but obviously they can't now. But I mean, it's so strange. Like apparently him and another skier collided, and I guess he suffered some like severe head damage and passed from that. But that's crazy. Like it's just insane. Like life is just so weird, man. Like somber.
So that was a bit of a shock. This really good hype behind it, and then just this happened, and it kind of, I think, shocked a lot of people.
I saw somebody kind of post today that this show's cursed already, and I'm just like, that's such a horrible thing to say, because even if you're just saying it in passing, because it's a bad association with it. Like the guy didn't pass away on set. It's not like when some of those movies.
The Crow.
Yeah, The Crow, or that movie with Alec Baldwin lately, or there was a couple movies in the 70s and 80s, like what's it called? The Twilight Zone, I think it was, and that where a guy got killed on set.
You know what shocks me is
because they don't say that about the Black Panther.
Well, that's what I was about to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Now one of the actors, Lupita, I can't remember her last name.
Yeah.
But now it's halted again. Filming is halted again just after the actress for Shuri came back after being vaccinated and everything.
Someone got injured, right?
Now that I think that was her as well, and that's what they were saying. But originally, I think it was a lot of controversy with vaccinations.
They say, oh, they're on vacation.
Yeah, but it's Lupita Nyong'o?
I can't say it, but I do
something like that.
Yeah.
She now has tested positive, and production's on hold again. And this movie's supposed to release in November of this year. There's been so much holding this movie up. They must have a decent portion of it filmed if they still think they're going to make it for a November release.
Yeah. Well, look, we live in Canada, and how overrun is COVID here? I mean, and people are safe, trying to be safe and all that. It's just.
But to have production completely stopped, like who knows how this one's going to go, but they literally just started a couple weeks ago, if that. and they were on hold for a long time.
Well, could you imagine if that ski accident would have happened like while they were still shooting? I
Mhm.
mean, like, it's crazy. I mean, that movie, that Alec Baldwin movie now, like that's never gonna get like another piece of film will never be filmed for that again. Like
No.
that's yeah, like it's unfortunate.
And yeah, that's about all I've got. I think
Where's the saying? I can't remember. I want to say it for word for word.
So
So
give me 2 seconds.
yeah, so I wouldn't say we were always looking for like a tagline or anything like that, but I mean I always say certain things like peace out and stuff. So and what a lot of people have been, just in the comic book community lately, been kind of, what can we do to like improve business, or what can I do to make my stuff seem like a little bit, more positive, like just stuff like that. And I've been saying it for a long time because since I've been, doing this stuff, the community guys that I've been with, like Big
Well,
Country and
it's
Tags,
unknowingly sort of become the Nat Daddy mantra.
yeah, I think we all kind of work together and make a stronger group, and if one fails, we all kind of fail. And Tyler's in business school now, and I heard him actually taking a online class every day, and I heard him saying that stuff to his group, and it kind of blew their minds. I think these young people going into business, it's like, I'm the businessman, I got no competition, I'm destroy everybody else. But
Mhm.
when you do that, it doesn't work out in the end. Like you might make you might be
You'll always have competition.
Yeah.
There's always competing for that market, but you're not competing as people. You're
Yeah.
still friends. You're still
Yeah, you don't have to be enemies, is what the
Yeah.
is. So I've said that a few times in a few different posts, and I've been getting a lot of positive feedback by that. And I've actually had some other like professionals like who sell comics and stuff like that, and approach me and say, no, do you have any more advice and stuff? And I'm like, no, man, I've been doing this for less than a year, but I have been a hairdresser for a very, very long time, and it's the same kind of thing too. It's a small community, and you're all trying to make that same dollar. So like, why not try to make that same dollar stretch for everybody instead of like be hateful, and it's just so much more stressful, I find, the other way. So what the new mantra is, or what we've been saying for a long time now, and we actually said it last week, and Tyler said to me, like, Dad, I'm actually cutting this out, and we're gonna post it up like word for word, because this is what the official Not Daddy mantra is that now, and it's be appreciative and support everybody. Peace out.